What's up guys, Manny from Motomillion. On our last video, we changed our exhaust system on our Diavel V4. It sounds amazing. It looks really good too, but now some of the stuff around the exhaust system is looking a little odd. Well, you guys might have seen this poking around in our other videos because we've had this, I think, since we got the bike. This is the MotoCorse CNC machine kickstand. I don't know, this kickstand, you know, a bike that is 30 grand. Thankfully we could fix it. But also we have our foot controls here. So one thing that was bothering me with the bike, and I don't know if it's me that I'm not used to the seating position, these foot pegs are super pointy and sharp, and I keep hitting my shins or ankles or whatever that's all around here. And I don't know, I've put maybe 200 miles on the bike so far, maybe a little less than that. I still can't get used to it. So Ducabike makes these beautiful foot pegs. I think they have more grip, which I don't know if I needed more grip, to be honest. You know, you're not gonna take this on a track, but the whole thing is that it's a little shorter. Let's see if it helps me with keep hitting my shins and legs to the bike. And I don't know if there's any other Diavel V4 owners that are watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, because is it me or do you guys find it kind of awkward too, the way that those things stick out? But also while we're there, we're gonna be changing our shift and brake levers, which is this piece. It's these things that you see here. Well, I'll go like this on there. So these are adjustable. I kind of find it comfortable on the stock setup. So luckily we could do the stock setup too. But if I ever want to experiment to see if there's any other position I want, they come with the eccentric pins. And when you purchase these from us guys, we always include the pin. So it comes as a complete kit, because they're usually not sold as a kit, but I want to make sure that everybody receives stuff that they expected to have. I don't know why they're sold separately, but we have it as a kit. And if you guys are ever wondering about the products that you see on our videos, check the description below, they're always there. But less talking, more working. Let's get the foot pegs off, let's get the foot controls off, and let's install these beautiful pieces. So this is our foot pegs, and the foot pegs are sold separately to the shift levers and the brake levers. Just one thing that I never even noticed it till I looked at it now. These foot pegs are actually tilted forward. Again, to me it feels comfortable, but to those people who have a different foot shape or size, these things are fully adjustable. So you could either do the stock configuration, or this basically goes around, and also this piece here as well. So almost infinitely adjustable, let's call it. So it's pretty cool, but it's very easy. We just take this clip out of here, push it out, make sure the spring doesn't hit us in the face, and then just replace it with this beautiful piece. Here's the stock one. What I'm gonna do is, since I mentioned that it's comfortable for me, I'm just gonna start off by putting in the position of the same as the stock, and then if I ever need to make any adjustments, I could do it afterwards. But again, these things are so long, and this thing it is rounded off, but it does kind of hurt when it hits my leg. But thankfully this is out of the way now. Just a quick note guys, because I kind of drew a blank over here when I was trying to put it together. This piece goes both ways. So it goes like this, and it goes the other way too. But make sure the side that has the hollow end on the inside goes on your attachment point, and the foot peg itself goes on the other end. That way you have room to put your bolts in. Guys, again, these are never instructional videos, but I'd like to give a tip or two for whoever cares to take advice from me. But I always use Loctite on anything that has to do with your foot controls. It's a good practice. Last thing you want is something coming off when you're riding. Then it makes the ride home quite annoying, or sometimes you'd have to get towed. I was kind of knocking this, guys, but this is pretty heavy. This is solid. It's crazy. I didn't expect it to weigh so much. It's 1.16 pounds. And the MotoCorse one, surprisingly, is only 0.72 pounds, which is cool. And we could keep this in our pocket in case someone wants to steal our Diavel V4. Guys, everything is on. This stand looks like a piece of art. Really cool. And now it kind of blends in. I don't know if they're going to make it, but imagine this whole rear set mount piece being in billet. I think that kind of would look cool too. Maybe it'll be too much if there's too many lines on it, but it's still better than the silver ones. And this looks, I think it looks really good. It's a big difference on the bike. Let's jump on the other side and let's get that other side changed too. Guys, everything is off. We're putting everything together, and we were using some of the OEM parts that fit back onto here. There's instructions for it. You can find it on Ducabike's website. But this piece here is your rear brake lever stop, where it rests down here when you are off the brake. And on single-sided swing arm bikes like this one, or the Panigale V4, the Street Fighter V4, even the V2s now, it's really important to make sure that you have no rear brake drag. So rear brake is not supposed to hold anything at all when you're not on the brake, because if you happen to run carbon wheels, and some of those special models come with carbon wheels do not like heat. Most of the failures that we've seen with the BSTs have always been caused by rear sets not being fitted properly or adjusted properly. So make sure that your stop is correctly positioned. And what we're going to do is that we're just going to loosely put this in. We're not going to adjust it or anything. We're going to put everything together, and then we'll find the optimal position for it so that there's no brake drag. Guys, the foot controls and the kickstand is done. Now let's get the filter. Luckily, I think it's easy to get the filter out of this bike. I haven't done it, but it looks very similar to the Panigale V4 and the Street Fighter V4 filters. Why am I doing the filter? Well, because we did an exhaust. If you're exhausting the gases more, you might as well intake more air so that you could make advantage of the power. Again, we're not expecting magic here. You know, it's probably going to make 1, maybe 2 more horsepower with the filter, but we might as well do it because the tune actually says that we could be using a sprint filter with it. Let me get this filter out. I'll quickly tell you guys the differences between the filters and why we chose the filter that we chose. And then I think we'll call it done. Next time you'll see this bike will be back on a dyno. Guys, this is the stock filter. It's a basic paper filter. We are going to be using a sprint filter, P08 filter. And there's also the P08 F185 filter. I think we have a video showing you guys this thing under the microscope and why we choose it. But let me remind you guys, we're not influenced by any manufacturer for anything that we use. We don't get stuff for free. We pay for it ourselves. And we curate the parts that we sell to you guys. Why we're using a sprint filter is easy. Ducati does as well. So a Panigale V4R, and I believe the SP2 maybe, comes with the P08 filter. What makes this filter special? I'm not going to bore you guys to death, I promise, but let me open this thing up. So the color might look familiar with other filters, but sprint filter this is a plastic filter. What does that mean? So this is paper and this element is plastic, and sprint filter has found a way to make every single hole the same size. That way they know exactly what kind of particulate will get through, what will not. It also has effects with turbulence. So it's a great filter. Also, the best benefit is that this will outlast this motorcycle. What does that mean? It means that you don't throw this out. You don't even oil it. It's not an oiled filter, meaning that if there's any sensors in the way, the oil is not going to get on the sensors. It's not going to potentially damage it. All you do is you take it out, take some compressed air to it, clean it out, put it back in. I was actually lucky enough to be one of the testers of the P08 F185 filters, which they use in MotoGP. We tried it on a road bike here in Miami because there's a lot of fine dust and sand around. Yes, because we have beaches very close to the city. Well, some of them are in the city, and it did a really good job. I got to see it firsthand. This was about 7-8 years ago. Ever since, I've been a believer in these things. And also now Ducati is coming with them. I believe also some Aprilia models come with sprint filters from the factory as well. Now that we're done, why we're using this and not something else, let's put it back on the bike, and then this thing will be dyno ready. guys, that was really simple. We took the bike off the stand so that we could turn left and right to access the air filter area. It's actually a little easier than the Street Fighter V4s and the Panigale V4s because there's a little more room, but also the cover is a little different. The other ones are like accordions. We actually have a video on how to change your air filter on those bikes on our channel. And just a tip, if you guys want to change it yourself, a tool like this with an Allen key that has a ball point at the end really helps because you could attack it at an angle. If not, you probably have to use a small ratchet. But that all being said, the bike is looking great. It's actually sounding fantastic with this exhaust. If you want to see the exhaust video, we just published it prior to this video. Go check it out. It's worth it, guys. It sounds amazing. Let's see if it's going to put down some amazing numbers. Stock figures were 147 to 148 at the wheel, guys. Don't forget, the bike's not fully broken in, so that number will increase a little bit as we put miles on it. But the next stop for this bike is the dyno room. Let's get it on the dyno and let's see how much more power the exhaust, the flash, and also this air filter gave this motorcycle. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Until next time, guys, have a good one.